there, welcome back. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Dara, and today in this video I'm showing you how I make my signature yin and yang arrangement. This is a offering on my website, and it's one of my favorite arrangements to make because it combines all of my favorite elements of black and white and sometimes purple, as you see here. So let's get started. I always start by removing the pre-prepped felt pads that the vases come with and put on my own. I got 3/8 inch felt pads that I secure with Loctite glue. And then I go in with galvanized chicken wire and cut about a 6-inch wide by 12-inch long piece. And then I stretch it out here, just so that all of those little honeycomb pieces are open and easy to get stems through. Sometimes the stems get caught, and so it's just better to open that chicken wire out. And then I go over top with 1/4 inch waterproof Oasis floral tape, crisscross over top, and then secure on the uppermost part of the lip of the vase with that. And then when that's done, I put in about a 1/4 scoop of Floral Life food. Here's the Lazy Susan. Got the water all prepped, ready to go. And first things first, I've got the genestra. I start by cleaning up this genestra because I need clean tufts of genestra, and if you've worked with genestra before, you know that most of the stem, they can be very wily or they might come nice and compact. So I'm just cleaning up the pieces that would be submerged in water, so then I get a nice clean tuft up at top. And then I clean up some of those stems as well. I whittle it down with my floral knife, just so that when the stem goes into that wire mesh there, it is very easy to go in and also very easy to go out if you need to change the placement of the stem. And like all my other pave arrangements, I am angling this out at a little bit of a triangle format here, and I'm starting with the genestra. Genestra, I guess, you would usually consider that a filler, but I'm starting with that so that I get a good base shape down. And then, as always with my pavés, I go in next with my calla lily, if I'm using them, because they're a very delicate stem, and also putting them in first, there wouldn't be enough support to create the overall shape that I'm going for. So by starting off with a filler, I get my shape, and then that's enough structure and support for the calla lilies to go in. If I were to try to put the calla lilies in last, that would have a bit more difficult a time getting those stems in, again, because they're very delicate and mushy and they break very easily. So I go in with that structure first with the genestra, gives enough support to the flower, and then second flower in is calla lily. And I'm just dotting this all over. Started with I got 2 bunches of calla lilies for this arrangement. These are all very short stem, and as you know, I usually use these UCI vases, and this is the smallest size UCI vase. Now I'm going in with wax flower. Wax flower, another filler, conventionally speaking. It's a filler flower, but I'm using it as a focal flower here because it's helping me to create that textural tapestry of small, fine detail flowers. So filling in the gaps where that genestra, where I didn't have enough genestra, and creating more of that pave shape. And continuing to angle that outward. Using my Zenport shears to clean up any of the foliage along the way and cut off any of the greenery, because again, I'm trying to keep this as color saturated as possible. And if I do want to incorporate some green, which I do later in the arrangement with the misty green, kind of, it's like a Queen Anne's lace type flower, that's an intentional green that I want in there. But usually the greens that come on wax flower just make the arrangement look messy. So by cleaning those off, we get a nice, clean, saturated white flower aesthetic. You can also do that with your floral knife. Now I've got these awesome spider chrysanthemum. Spider chrysanthemum, actually, in hindsight, I really should have added these flowers last because they shatter quite easily. The petals are also very delicate, so that would have been a good ending note. But I went in with it here as the, I think, fourth flower? And I think I had about 8 or 10 different varieties of flowers here, so that it would have been good from a order standpoint to put those in at the end, simply because the petals, once you start adding in other flowers, are very easily damaged or shatter or fall off very easily. So I was able to work around that quite easily in this arrangement, no problem. But just as a mental note for next time, I would definitely put those in more toward the end of the arrangement, while of course keeping in mind that I need to leave larger open spaces for that particular flower. So now I've got this stunning variegated carnation. It's a picoteed black and white, so to speak. Of course, it's not true black, it's a plum. But I love this carnation very, very much. It's very classy and kind of mysterious to me, which this arrangement was for one of my regular clients, Atticus Ross, and he is, to me, a very snazzy guy, but also, being that he composes darker music with 9 Inch Nails and all of the film work that he does, I think that, you know, I wanted something dark and mysterious, but also lighthearted and fun, which has definitely been my experience of him. Very grateful to him. He's become a regular of my work, and he purchases for special occasions. So very grateful for that. So this arrangement was for his birthday, and just a gift from me, a thank you from me to him for his support. And I like to interpret, like, take someone's personality, my impressions of them, the way that I observe a person, and then put that in flower form. Now I have really special Japanese import sweet pea. These were also a kind of variegated, striated black and white, if you will. Got that stunning purple and burgundy and plum color palette on that flower as well. And this one is a good one to end with, because also delicate stems, but also very thin. So because it is a very thin stem, it's very easy for it to go into that arrangement, no problem. Now I've got the Cluny Nerone, or maybe they are burgundy, but yeah, probably actually was not a Cluny Nerone. And now I'm just going in and alternating back and forth between the ranunculus and the sweet peas, finding their particular spaces that they fit nicely into in this arrangement. Gorgeous. This arrangement, from a business perspective, to give you a good idea of what it costs me $145 to make this arrangement. That includes the cost of the materials as well as the vase, not considering the chicken wire, but that's totally okay. I just kind of include that in my markup. But from a business standpoint, as a florist, what is your standard markup? What kind of formulas are you using to decide how to price your arrangements? with the cost increase of materials and cost of living and studio space and all of this, and the particular way that I prefer to design, I was before using a 3.5 markup plus 20% labor. And then I changed that to 3.5 plus 30% labor. And now I'm just doing a flat times 4 markup. It just makes the math a lot easier. A lot of florists I know use a times 5 or a times 6 or a times 7 markup in the LA area. It's just a standard format. But I know that because of the cost and the style arrangements that I like to make, I'm a lot more comfortable just doing a times 4 because it's a value perception thing. And when I get the right clients with the right budgets, it's cool. But from the average consumer's perspective, to pay $600 for a 12-inch arrangement is perhaps ludicrous. I don't know. Most people would think that that is absurd, and I would actually tend to agree with them. So I try to offer arrangements that are still super stunning and chic and amazing, things that I take pleasure in making, and that are also within a what I perceive as a comfortable price point. And now I've got this misty green / Queen Anne's lace flower that I'm going in with to pepper in a little bit of green to make it look a little bit more electric, a little bit more alive. If it were just black and white and the plum colors, it would maybe be a little bit too stark. So I thought, given his personality, it would be a fun little accent to add in there, and really thoroughly enjoying that. This would be along the lines of all of my other how to design pave arrangements, except it's on a smaller scale. So I've got, I think this vase is about 6 inches wide by 5 inches height, and then the bottom is about 3 inches for the base on that. So now I'm just filling in where there were gaps and holes with the other flowers and peppering that in to finish off this arrangement. I don't know if you can see that little mistake I made there with the sweet peas sticking out, but I do correct that at the end. I didn't notice it until the end. As you can see, my perspective here was looking down on the arrangement, so I didn't see that little stem, but made sure to, if that happens, give it a little snip at the end of the stem and place it back into the arrangement. I am obsessed with this arrangement. It kind of opened my mind to how I want to design small arrangements and how I might be able to do that with more affordable blooms. I could have done this arrangement just with 10 stems of calla, and now we're finishing with finishing touch. Always the essential last step, and here we have it. We've got the yin and yang with a little bit of a plum twist. Obsessed with this arrangement. Happy birthday, Atticus. Thank you very much for your support, and I hope that you enjoyed this arrangement, and I also hope that you as a viewer enjoyed watching it and that you learned something new today. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video, and as always, feel free to leave your questions, comments below in the description, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks for watching.